the camera. Perfect. Okay.
But,
Hey baby, how did you get it going? Knows that
Hello, man. Welcome to another episode of Star Studio. We got two amazing guests with us, man. A historic couple, man. They're doing reality TV, and they are officially the first Hispanic couple on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, man. Please welcome in International Nova and Cristina Nova, man.
Yes.
bye.
Thank you for having us, man. We
Man,
appreciate
thank
you
y'all for
guys.
joining. How y'all doing this morning?
I'm doing amazing. God
Glad
is
to hear
good.
We're doing
all
pretty
the
well.
time.
We're doing pretty well, man. You know, we got happy kids, happy life. God is amazing. So,
Nothing to complain about, for real.
amen.
Man, let's dive into
Amen.
it, man. The first Hispanic couple on Love and Hip Hop.
Yes.
Making some history to kick the year off. You know what I mean? Like, was it a big deal to y'all when y'all found out? And like, did they let you guys know this when y'all first joined, or?
So it's funny because I have been following me personally. I've been following Love and Hip Hop over the years, right? Being from New York and then coming to Atlanta. A lot of my friends were on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta or New York. So, you know, I was always kind of around that. And when I first moved to Atlanta, I was supposed to join the cast at that time, and it just didn't work out. But honestly, this time around, me and my wife, man, we were actually doing or submitting for another show that the cast people reached out to us for a whole different TV show. And towards the end of that process, they was like, yo, you know what? We got something else that can work for you guys. Even though this was going good, this kind of makes more sense for y'all. And we didn't know what it was. So we was like, okay, cool, just submit it. You know what I mean? And very next morning, man, we got a call and it was Love and Hip Hop.
That's fire. So I got a question. Why do you feel like he preferred y'all in Love and Hip Hop towards the other show, whatever it may be?
It was the music. I think, a lot of it was the music. Also, my wife being brand new to the entertainment industry, she kind of wanted to take a little bit of a backseat. The other show, even though I think Love and Hip Hop is definitely women oriented, you know what I mean? And that's what drives the show. This other show was a lot more woman oriented. You know what I mean? Whereas Love and Hip Hop is kind of,
the guys in it too.
The guys in it too. This other
show,
the other show would have probably popped in like every couple of episodes. You know what I mean? So I think that's what it was. And I think, for our age demographic, you know what I'm saying, who we are, what we do, and the audience that we appeal to, I think that kind of made a lot more sense.
Yeah, I agree. He's definitely right. I definitely wanted to take a back seat. My husband's like, I rape you with this line, but like we all know, I'm new to this. I'm not true to this, right? So you definitely want to have, my husband leading, and it's definitely better for us as a family. It fits our family dynamic better. So yeah.
How would you say, being brand new to the industry, how has it been being on TV? Has it been a hard thing waking up and seeing these cameras in your face? Like,
ay santo, it's been very challenging. It's very different. Even though that my husband and I we've been together already, 4 years, but it's completely different because it's 4 years of me, taking that back seat and being his cheerleader and just recording the videos and hey babe, you look good, no, this doesn't look good, like
you was personal mirror, man.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's different
Plus
now.
our first 2 years, like if you guys watched the first episode that we came out on, we spoke about that. Our first 2 years together, I wasn't doing music. I kind of took a break, we kind of dove heading into our relationship and into our family and the kids and so I took a backseat to music and to entertainment. So then kind of when we got married, man, the wedding went viral, People Magazine, all these different platforms. And it just kind of went crazy from there. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, I guess I got to get back to work. And here we are.
I love it. What would y'all say, each of y'all, what is y'all favorite thing about doing reality TV?
For me, I think it's being able to reach that big of an audience pretty quickly, you know what I mean? And pretty easily versus like, kind of grinding in social media and being outside and shaking hands and kissing babies. I think that being able to kind of reach that audience while still maintaining kind of your family life and everything else and kind of balancing that out, to me, I think that's the biggest plus.
For me, I'm still surviving. So we'll have to get back to that question, later. I love to be supportive though. Like I love that, I'm doing something now that's part of, his career that my husband has worked so hard for, and to just be an asset to him is really what's a blessing to me.
That's fire. We gonna focus on you a little bit,
Yeah.
Christina. So tell me, why did
No.
you decide to pursue real estate?
I worked in sales my whole life since I was 17 years old. Mastered, what is it? Mastered in all, jack of all trades, mastered in all at this point. And the reason that I, focus in sales is because I've always been in sales, but I got introduced to real estate when I bought my home for the first time. And I just think that it was like, a lot of money, right? It's like, tax time. So it was money driven. And then at the same time is like, it's a necessity. You get me? So it's like, you really don't sell real estate. You actually just inform, so that's that perspective, I think in general does have to change, because I can't sell you. You're already living somewhere, right? We're not all like living under the highway or anything. So, in that aspect, I love that. I love that. And then when I started learning a little bit more about, the education behind it, ownership, it's a lot more of a fair practice, or a fair, how do you say that? I found out my English. Sometimes, okay, real estate is a lot more. Eh, oh gosh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay.
A lot more
En
detail.
español. No. Like for example, like there's a lot more mercy in real estate. Does that make sense? There's a lot more mercy. Like I worked as a paralegal for 5-6 years, so I was able to identify with these different individuals. Basically, what would cause people to get into financial trouble, right?
Yeah.
Number one was the vehicles. The vehicles were like number
The
one.
fancy cars,
The 22 APR, 23 APR, and then after the vehicles, then basically it was, where they were living.
Right.
So basically, in Georgia, it's a non-judicial state. And basically, it's a lot more mercy in that. So, and the monthly rent is a lot
Higher.
more affordable.
Okay.
No, when you own. When you own.
Yeah.
So it's
Mortgage
it's a
versus
better-
renting. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like rental rate versus your minimum wage. It's not fair. Like it's not fair. Most people like are very much struggling.
Especially today's day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're struggling.
You know what's crazy? She said something that kind of brought back some memories for me. When I first moved to Atlanta, I immediately bought my first house, right? Like within 6 months of being in Georgia. And it always got to me, like how people can be driving the craziest cars and the rims, and especially back home, and living in the projects. Like to me, that never connected to me.
Did it make
You know what I mean?
sense?
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense.
it doesn't. It still doesn't make sense, right? So I think that for me, like especially when I met my wife, because I was already super in love with real estate, super in love with renovations and things like that. But when I got to actually understand and learn the business, I was like, damn, like our mentality between the black and the brown culture, like we look at things completely different, bro.
Too materialistic.
Too materialistic. You know what I mean? Whereas, the other cultures, look at things more in
And
a.
they have $1 million driving a Toyota, man.
I'm telling you, driving Toyotas and wearing sketches. So I think that she's right. I mean, I think it's a lot more mercy in real estate. I think one of the things that I've noticed about her is that she has a huge passion in teaching our people the ins and outs of real estate and money and management and even though hey, we're human, we all make mistakes, but also the advantages of buying a home and buying maybe your first home, or I think those things are beautiful.
Oh, they're huge. They're huge.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people make mistakes. Like, like you make mistakes. And like I said, just like if you look at the statistics, it doesn't make sense. Minimum wage versus the rental rate, it's not like so. Then that means that. So once I identified that issue, I'm like, man, people it was more like of a heart thing for me, like. But at the end of the day, since I've worked sales for so long, I was never able to find anything that as a single mother will sustain, my family and I. Because, I've been a single mother. I had to be the mom and the dad. You get me? So when I found that, I was like, yo, this is tax time. Every time. I was like, Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's a necessity. Like I said, I don't have to sell. I just have to educate, and present. You know,
I love
so
it.
I love that part of
So
it.
you guys are also business partners. You guys run the Nova agency together.
Yeah,
Could you
yeah.
guys tell me more about the Nova agency and what it's like building a business with your spouse?
Yeah, I mean, the Nova Agency is of course, husband and wife company, real estate company. We do real estate, we do services, we do renovation services, education services. At some point, we even had counseling, marriage counseling services for some of our
They say we
clients.
do it all. One
So,
stop shop.
Staging,
yeah, staging. So
we
see,
do it
it's a little bit of
everything.
everything. You know what I mean? Like I said, when I met my wife, it was funny because I'm being the musician, her being a realtor. It was kind of like perfect because she was a realtor, but she loves music. I'm a musician that loves house hunting and renovations and getting my hands dirty. Yeah, so the passions matched, and
Too much.
yeah, yeah. And then we decided to kind of, hey, why don't we just do this together? You know what I mean? And I was kind of worried at first because I seen how like, especially on in movies and online and social media, how it kind of shows the husband and wife businesses don't always work
Always work out.
because it's hard to be with somebody all the time and then still be working with them all the time, right? But when we launched our company, man, we did almost 7 million in real estate sales our first year. Yeah, yeah. So we've had the company now for 2 years, 2.5 years. But our first year, we did almost 7 million in real estate transactions,
That's crazy, bro.
and
That's a crazy
it's
number.
it was bananas, man. And we kept finding not only the luxury clients, but we had the luxury homes, right, the mansions and things like that, but we also had the mom and pops that were going through it and needed a home, and so we were able to help everybody. And the cool thing about it that I thought was so dope was that they might have came to us because of the name and the brand at first, but by the time we closed those deals, they became family. Almost every single client to this day is family to us. So I think that it's super dope because you're not only making money and making a business and running a business, you're helping people. And I think that's the biggest thing that that's the biggest thing that we get out of it is that we're able to help change lives. We're able to like I said, be marriage counselors to other people. You know what I mean? And sometimes we need that as humans. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, Christina, you're a
Yes.
businesswoman, a wife, a mother, and now a reality TV star. How do you balance all this, man?
The Lord, the Lord. I pray so much. I just pray so much. I mean, I need God. Everybody needs you. Your husband needs you, your children need you. At the end of the day, it's like that Tupac song that they say, everybody want to blame mama. So then it's like, so, and that's okay because God gave us more. I truly believe that. You know what I'm saying? So and it's a lot of pressure, on the husband as well. My husband took on a lot as well. So, it's just, prayer, patience, love, love, patience, self-checking yourself. But it's difficult. It's very challenging. But at the same time, I wouldn't change it. And it's very rewarding as well.
That answer was French kiss.
It's funny
Yeah.
though, man, because she was nervous. Like when we
I'm
first
still
started filming,
nervous.
Really?
like a
I'm
lot.
still,
So a
you
lot of
can
people,
tell.
yeah, a lot of people,
Yeah,
a lot of people don't realize. Like, so we started filming very late into the season. Like our contracts took forever, you know what I mean, to get done and finalized and all that. So we didn't start filming till like mid October, and filming ended late December. So we had a month and a half to catch up to everybody else that been filming for like 4, 5, 6 months. So it was funny because she was super nervous the entire process. And when we first watched that first episode, like if you guys have seen it, her green screens are freaking hilarious. So I'm like, man, like everybody was like, yo, she fit right in. Like she's been doing this for years, you know? So it's kind of funny just watching that growth too, because from episode to or filming day to filming day, her demeanor kept changing. And she got more comfortable, she got more demanding, like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, y'all gonna have to wait on me now. Like I gotta get right, I gotta get ready. So, it's funny because I think that the growth in that is super dope as well. You know what I mean? So, I think life is about growth.
Love that. Y'all could give me 2 tips for other married couples to always remember when they're working together in business together.
What you think?
I'll let you go first.
I think patience, 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 especially for the man, because With most men, at least that I've met, are very impatient. I'm very impatient.
I'm very impatient. I
You know what I
agree.
mean?
That's the
Especially
truth.
especially guys from like up north. Like I think the southern states breeds a lot more laid backness, relaxfulness. Whereas if you from up north, man, you like I gotta go, I gotta get this done. So for me, I think patience is the biggest thing, man. And then always remembering what the actual end goal is.
Goal is.
You know what I mean? It's not just you, like especially if you got kids, like you got the whole family. So I think those are the two things that I say focus on is patience and understanding what your end goal is.
I love that. I love that. So, Nova, tell me, what do you prefer, producing or rapping?
Wow. So I think both for different reasons, right? I'm an artist first. You know what I mean? My entire career I did hip hop until these last couple of years where I switched over to Latin. And even with what I do now, still a blend of hip hop and R and
Yeah, you
B,
definitely
dance
got
hall.
your hip hop influences
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
Latin music. I'm loving
You
it.
know, so I think it's funny because I grew up around coming from the Bronx. I came from like the birthplace of hip hop, right? So I was very lucky when I first came in the game. I was around the Cool Hercs and the Grand Wizard Theodores and the DJ Jeffs and all these different people and Jazzy J and all these different people who actually invented hip hop. So I felt like I was super spoiled coming in because I was around all of these people like every day, and then being around my brother and his people and what they did for Latins in hip hop. You know, what I mean, I think that I was able to soak in so much, and I never even wanted to be an artist because I never thought I was good enough to be an artist. But I had other people around me that kept pushing me, like, "Nah, do this, do this. You got something there." And evolving from that to being the artist to being international Nova to then being a producer, you know what I mean, and a songwriter because I also write songs for other artists. And especially now being a Latin artist, but I still produce hip hop, I still produce R&B. Like, we did the theme song for Step Up for Neo.
Fire.
Um, P. Pablo's new album, I'm producing most of that. I just did Zell's album from Love and Hip Hop as well. So like I'm still kind of touching on all these different areas, but I think the love for music is still the love for music, whether I'm an artist or I'm producing or I'm songwriting or I'm just helping somebody out, and you know what I mean. And I think that to me is the most dopest thing in the world. And like now, my son who just turned 2, that kid loves the hell out of music. So
Yeah,
watching
young
him,
coming up.
yeah, watching him, like man, it's crazy. And then he knows my songs. Like the minute, even if it's a brand new song, he recognizes my voice. He starts dancing. He starts turning up. So that's so dope for me to watch as well. You know what I mean? I think that kind of further cements how much I love doing this and how much like I really believe I was put on this earth to do this. You know what I mean? So
You recently transitioned, or a couple years transitioned into making more Latin music,
yeah,
and now you already got hits in that market. My bad if I pronounce it wrong, but Dale and D-Man.
yeah, yeah. No, that was
Yeah,
perfect. That was
better.
perfect.
That was better. That was better.
What do they mean, bro? What do those songs
So
mean?
D-Man means give me. You know what I mean? And Dale is like, man, go ahead, do your thing. Like so the meaning behind Dolly and what that record is about is like, yo, go ahead, do your thing, drop it, girl. Like, you know what I mean, party, like let's get it on. Whereas D is kind of more of a sensual record, you know what I mean? It's like give me your love, give me your body, you know what I mean? It's more of a sexual reference. And it's funny because transitioning from hip hop to Latin, I'm Dominican first of all, right? But I always did hip hop. So when I kind of came to Atlanta, I came to Atlanta to further my career. I had just signed my deal, moved to Atlanta, never been to Atlanta before in my life. And I was so lucky to meet some of the biggest artists in Atlanta and work with so many artists. And then my studio became the hub. Everybody came to my studio. Bone, Music Soul Child, PD, all these different people. And then it was kind of funny because I had got bored with hip hop because I felt like, damn, I came to Atlanta to really expand, and everybody here sounded the same, you know.
I knew you were gonna say that too. It
So
sound very repetitive.
yeah, yeah. So I remember like Tip had told me one time, man, he was like, yo, don't come here and try to be from Atlanta. Be you. And at the time I didn't get it. And then further on, later on, I'm like, that's what he meant. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, I think everybody comes to Atlanta and they want to sound like they from Atlanta. And Atlanta has their own sound. Like you can't imitate that. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, damn, let me be me. And being me at that time was kind of finding myself, finding my voice. And then I transitioned to doing Latin and blending all these different loves that I have: R&B and hip hop and dancehall and reggaeton and Afro, because I love Afro beat as well. And that turned into Dale, to Demon, to Controller, which is my biggest record. You know what I mean? And even Controller, like I had PD Pablo on that. So to have a legend like PD Pablo on a Spanish record was completely different for him too, and he loved it. He's like, man, I want to jump on that. And man, I always tell the story. I had sent PD the record, went to go take my dogs for a walk. By the time I came back from walking the dogs, he had his verse in my inbox already.
Oh yeah, he ain't waste no time.
He's quick. Nah, PD's quick. So within 20 minutes, I had his verse, and I'm like, damn, okay, like let's go.
Let's get it.
So yeah, but I love music, man. I love music. I think that it's who I am. You know what I mean?
Tell me about the new song you just dropped, Rakata.
Forgot.
Listen, yo, you're doing a good job, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Sorry.
Rakata, yeah, it's man. So I think I told this story one time before. Me and my wife had got into it at the house, and I was like, man, I'm going upstairs. I'm like, you know what I mean? I need my me time. And at the time, we were still building the studio.
That day.
Yeah, right. We were still building a studio downstairs. So we have a theater upstairs of our house, and I had my like little makeshift studio up there. And I went up there. I started working on the record. I did the beat, and then within 20 minutes, went ahead and just started laying vocals. And I remember she came up to let me know, hey, the food's ready. And then I was just playing the record, and she's like, "You just did this now?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "The whole song?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "The beat?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You should start getting mad at me more often, cause shit."
Yeah, I'm gonna embrace it. I'm gonna encourage him. Like I got tough skin, baby. I'm like, okay, I got you. I was like, oh, okay.
Does Rakata mean like argument or fight? Or
No, so rakata is kind of just like it's a slang word for just kind of like let's get it popping, let's go. Like a lot of my music, all my music really is feel good music. You know what I'm saying? It's either music for the ladies because that's what I do, right? That's what I'm known for. Party records, you know what I mean? Heartfelt records. I don't really do the shoot 'em up, bang bang thing. You know what I mean?
You're tired of the trap music, man.
Yeah, well, like I come from that. So for me, this is my escape. You know what I mean? I come from the projects. I come from the hood. So for me, it's like this is my escape is music. I can do those things. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I've done some of those, and I could do those. But for me, my target is the feel good stuff.
So, Christina, what do you think might be some, I guess, misconceptions from the show that people have about you two? Or even
that's
yourself?
that's a good question.
What are some misconceptions? I think that I think they view me as maybe like insecure, just because, but it's not really that, it's just I'm woke in these streets, so trust is earned, from, I'm not about, like I don't know you, I'm from New York as well, and just in general, you're raising a family by yourself. You can't, you can't afford mistakes. I worked sales. You had a lot of people trying to waste your time. I've been through a lot in my life as well. We could get into that another day. But it's like, for some reason, they always judge this book by its cover. And then like, it's like, my spirit in the inside is really like I'm really more of a tomboy. That's where they don't like, yeah, like I get down with my husband. Like, like my dad did construction for 25 years. So I was my dad's boy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I think that when I walk in the room, that's one of the biggest misconceptions about me. Like they figure, oh, she can't cook or this, that. Like I'm like, I get down. Like
throwing it down.
yeah.
No,
But not just throwing it down. Like I be like laying down brick. I'm talking about like my husband could tell you, like, we built his studio from the ground up. I build his dreams with him. Like literally.
I think the biggest it's kind of hard because since we started filming so late, we couldn't really get deep into our story, which this season hopefully we'll do that, right? But I think that's definitely one of the misconceptions. I think that another misconception that I've noticed is with the fans, they don't know my history, so they think I'm just a Latin artist and that's all I've ever done, and and it's like, no, I've worked and produced for damn near everybody in the hip hop industry. But I think that a lot of people don't do their research, right? So I think that you kind of just judge about what you see. And I think that for us being brand new, for us being the first and only so far Latino couple on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, because they've had Latin women, they might have had Latin guy, but they never had an actual married Latin couple on the show.
Starring in the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who I mean, like shit. I've never seen them do the same rollout that they gave us in our first episode. I've never seen them do that for anybody else. That was a huge rollout. And I think that, it kind of brings a lot of heat with that because, again, if you don't know what we've been doing and you don't know some of the background and whatever, you're kind of like, well, who are these people, right? Who are these Spanish people? But in reality, we're very cemented into the hip hop game, into the R&B game, into our culture. Yeah, into our culture, right? So I think that hopefully as time goes by and as we expand into these seasons coming up, you can really dive into our story, into our family. You know what I mean? I went from being a single man to getting married and having 4 kids, pretty much the next day. Right. So like,
I told him not to do
that was a
it.
big thing for me, right? I think for her as well, kind of marrying an artist and all these different things. So I think that as the season progresses with this new season, I think once people get to know our story, they're gonna be like, oh, it all makes sense now.
Hmm.
So, one of the big trends right now is like relationship content.
Yeah.
Couples making TikToks together and all of that stuff. And they obviously want to be in your position. They hope one day me and my man or me and my shorty is on Love and Hip Hop or another type of reality TV.
Yeah.
Give them the real here. Like, what is it? What is something they should expect? Like, if you're gonna be in this life, have these cameras in your face 24/7. This is what they don't tell you.
You gotta have tough skin, man. Like the funniest thing is maybe not funny to my wife, but
Don't start.
one of the funniest things was the entire cast as we were filming with different people kept telling us because we don't. I'm the type that if I'm new to something and I don't know it, I'm gonna ask your opinion, your advice. And I remember I was like, what is the things that you think we should look out for? And everybody was like, yo, ignore the comments, ignore the comments, ignore the comments. And I'm like, nah, we'll be all right. Man, and in that first episode, they took something that my wife said out of context. It was because of course everything gets edited a certain way. Yeah. And in one of her scenes, she had asked Rashida and Kendra and Sierra advice, like, yo, I'm newly married to an artist. How do you ladies deal with it? And she said something to Rashida like, hey, because I would love to be a Rashida and Kirk one day. But what she actually said was because you guys have been together for 20 plus years, and no matter what, that takes work. You know what I mean? Of course, the people didn't hear that. All they heard was, I want to be a Quaker. And and they kind of went crazy in the comments. And I felt bad because I'm like, damn, she's brand new to this. You know what I mean? Yeah, she, we all know what she, like, if you watch the episode, and then you have some of the fans in the comments who was like, yo, y'all didn't actually hear what she said. Like, this is what she said. But I think that was like a crash course immediately for us, you know what I mean? To realize, okay, well, we got to kind of, not look at the comments or kind of be more mindful of what we say. But I think that that's one of the things for me that I was most worried about because for her, she's brand new to this. You know what I mean? I got tough skin. They could say that I'm short. They could say whatever they want. Cool. That's who I am. It is what it is, right? Yeah. But it's different when somebody says something to somebody about somebody you love, and that that's not even what it was. So I think for me, I think for us both, that was the biggest thing. It's just like, yo, they told us to ignore the comments. We didn't listen. We should have.
Man, you guys are also starting your his and hers cosmetic line, or that's in the works, right?
Yeah. Super excited about that. I really am. We're looking for a product that is actually going to be like more green. So super excited just to bring a new product, to ladies and to men.
And to the men, his and hers,
because men need to look good too, but not just like look good, like take care of themselves. No, okay, you guys.
But all the way, all the way. I mean,
Yeah.
she's always getting on me because she's like a health freak. And I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like I eat what I eat. I'm not
I don't know
you know what I'm
about
saying?
all that.
Not a freak, but she's a health like person. Like
Yeah.
Health is
Yeah.
wealth, and she's always with the vitamins. And you know what I'm saying? I'm a dude's dude, so and
Like
I'm
my
not
dad.
into that all the time. But with the skincare line, we wanted a product that we believed in, something that we felt can not make a difference. I don't want to sound corny, but make a difference to our people. You know what I mean? And one of the things that she wanted to make sure that it was that it was a green product. You know what I mean? It was a natural product. It wasn't something that was filled with all these different chemicals and
Don't even know what's
actually hurting our skin versus helping us. You know what I mean? So we just landed this deal. It's our own line. We're in the process of kind of working everything through. But it's something that, God willing, everybody should see this new season of Love and Hip Hop. Season 14, I guess is what it'll be. And something that we're firmly behind.
Yeah, and that goes back to that prayer, right? Because you see now that it involves money. Now you see he's like, okay, y'all gonna see him. He's gonna be like, yeah, because but now you have purpose.
You don't want to. She's like, you don't want to put lotion. I was like, no, I don't need that.
Yeah, watch.
You
Now
put
we're
this?
gonna
Nah, I
sell
don't need
lotion.
that.
He's gonna be like, hey, all you gotta do is pray about it. Give it to God and pray. Like, you listen. Once it starts making money, he's gonna be all. Next, I'm gonna want to open up a vitamin line. You see, you gotta know your person. You gotta know your person.
It's funny because
I see you.
She'll ask me to do things,
you.
and then like our daughter would just make me do it. So
Yeah.
like she'll be like, "Hey, you want to put this cream on?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." My daughter would be like, "Out of nowhere." I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Cause I know you're gonna, yeah." She's like, "I know you're gonna say no, so I'm just gonna do it anyway." I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Because I got to figure out how to disarm this man, I was like, okay, cause I mean, at the end of the day, my daughter disarms him. Like, our daughter disarms him way better than, I do. So I'm like, you need leverage, so we use it.
Man, I just want to say thank you both, International Nova and Cristina, for coming in and sitting with us today, stepping into the Star Studio to talk some love and hip hop, but also y'all amazing businesses.
Thank you for having us, man. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Continue watching Love and Hip Hop. This season gets crazy. Even with us, some craziness coming up as well.
Of course. Oh, yes.
And continue to follow our journey too, man. I think that.
Where can we follow you guys at?
So social media, International Nova. I am Cristina Nova.
I am Cristina Nova.
We actually also just launched a family YouTube page, Meet the Novas, geared towards the kids and to the families on YouTube. We're trying to put our life out there in a way that kind of makes sense, right? We're more than just the first Latino couple. Like, we actually bring a lot more to the table. And I think that as people kind of dive more into our story, I think that they're going to see that and they're going to, really, really love that about us.
No, that's perfect, man. Thank you guys for stepping into the Star Studio, and we rolling out. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.